Wonderful. Well, I've got Tom and Kel here. We've been working together for a while now, but we did have a bit of a break in the middle. But yeah, thanks for jumping on.
No worries. Thank you for having us. Thanks for working with us and putting up with
mate.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, obviously we've been together for a season. I guess I just want to get a bit of a picture from you guys. What life was like before working with me. Like we could, talk through maybe some of the challenges or problems that you guys were facing.
I reckon we had it pretty good, to be honest. It's funny, we were having troubles with communication and stuff like that. Like we were making good money doing all that, but we were struggling with communication, spending money whenever we wanted. Wouldn't really talk to each other or put a limit on what we spent. We just did it. And then I think one of the cool parts of our journey with you from before to when we started working with you, we got kind of halfway through the program. I had some health issues and, we just disappeared for a while, but you kept checking in. But the cool thing was that we didn't stop using the values that we'd just built up with you. We kept trying to, we kept communicating pretty well. You'd see it slip occasionally just from not having the constant, how you going with that part? What are you doing? But generally, I think the difference from before we started to when we started was, our communication and all that stuff was so bad before, and it just picked right up. So it was a win to start with, like straight away.
Yeah. It's a pretty big win to start with, isn't it?
Yeah.
We just sort of done the tax return for the business and personally, and I looked at how much we'd earned, and I looked at Tom and I was like, where has that money gone? Like, did we really earn that much money? And I just felt like we had nothing to show for it because like Tom said, we would just, whatever we wanted, we would just go and buy it, which is nice to have that freedom. But at the same time, it was, we don't really have much else to show. And I think it did come down to communicating because we would both just go out and buy things. We wouldn't really communicate about what we were getting. And we just had so many different various accounts, like even though we've been married for so long, I still had my personal account and Tommy had his, and then we had a joint, and then we had this, and then we had that, and everything was all over the place. And even though it was sort of because we didn't know any different, working with you, you were able to show us a better way, which we can go into a bit later on, but you kind of helped us set up a way that we would come together. I guess for us, like Sunday night is organisation night for us. We do the groceries, we do this, and we came to that time of sitting down to communicate about the week. And whilst it was good to talk about the finances, it sort of overflowed into our whole life about what the week was like. And I think it really kind of minimised probably even just arguments in the relationship and just communication about who's picking up kids and who was doing what jobs. Yeah. So, it kind of just changed everything.
Yeah, it was actually kind of really interesting. I was thinking about this just before we jumped on, the idea that because I obviously have formal stuff that I work through. But I remember we took a pretty strong detour when it came to this idea of like organization, communication, like let's just start chatting about the week that's coming, And I remember literally a couple of weeks we spent there. We're like, okay, let's do this. And it was actually quite a fun journey, wasn't it? But I guess having gone through you're not all the way done yet, but your experience so far of the program, I mean, other than kind of organization, communication, which we've spoken about, were there any kind of really big epiphanies or aha moments you had?
It's funny, we were talking about this before, and I recall a moment where you and I were talking and you're like, so you had an epiphany, like it was way back when. And I'm saying to Kel, I can't remember what that was. It's just all blurred into one big thing where, like, everything, I think the fact that it was all, like, none of it was new, but it was all coming from a new angle. And like I said to Kel, I'd listened to the whole of the Barefoot Investor. I'd done all that. A lot of this stuff, the principles are very similar, but I could have listened to that book 100 times and still not implemented it because it wasn't coming as direct and it wasn't coming as easy as when you explain it. And I think that was one of my aha moments was I'm a physical learner. I need to physically see someone pointing things out to me. I can't just I've always been like that, but it was like my aha moment was I need to work with someone like Josh. I can't just do it on my own, or can't bed foundations on my own. I think that was my biggest epiphany was I need help. So,
Oh, it's a pretty big one to have. Yeah. I think we should all regularly have that one. Don't worry, Tom.
Working with you to actually notice it though, not wasn't like
a physical person.
That's right.
But someone we trust, like no one trusts. Just a random stranger, financial advisor, but someone who has all the skills, but someone that we know and trust.
Like I got a guy, he's a great bloke. I play golf with him every year at a thing, and he's a financial advisor. He's been trying to get me on board for a while, and I just was never comfortable, even though he's a great bloke. I couldn't see it working, and so I'd been thinking about it for ages, but of course you keep popping up on Facebook because you've got a idiot.
That's what I do, yeah.
and it eventually I was like, nah, Kel, we've got to do something about this. Really want to start talking with Josh. And you know what? We had no idea what it would cost, nothing like that. We couldn't put a price on the value of it. But when you told us what it was worth, we were like, we can work with that. That's worth us going from struggling to keep money to being able to keep money, even though we didn't know how the program looked or felt. It just felt right to do it, and we don't regret it. Good.
It's always good to hear that you don't regret it. I don't know. What about you, Kel? Did you have any kind of real epiphany moments?
Yeah, well, for me, I guess I'd gone in with a different perspective of what the program would look like. I guess I had a background of bookkeeping and things. I kind of thought we would come in and we would have like a budget to work with straight up, and it would be this and that. And I didn't realise it would be this journey of how you would think about money and you would learn about the other person. So when we were having our date nights, each week, and we had these questions and, because we'd sort of done our premarital, counselling and got to know each other pretty well. And, we've been together, 15 years and married for 13 years. So I figured I know pretty well, right? Go to do this date night and we write down these answers. And I mean, I would say 50-50, like 50 I knew bang on. But then there was this other 50, I was like, wow, left field, had no idea that's how you felt about. And so I just think, gosh, we've been spending our whole life thinking about money, not even being really on the same page. Yeah. So just that was my epiphany, was like, wow.
Good one.
No, it was just mind-blowing for me to be together for so long and just not had any idea about even a conversation really, I guess, about money properly. Little conversations, but not, these direct ones that you gave us. Yeah, you kind of directed us through it in a non-hostile way where we didn't get into arguments.
It's one of the ground rules. It's okay. Yeah.
And they cross them once or twice.
It's okay. It's natural. Don't worry. Okay, so I guess, obviously we're not done yet, but I guess it's been exciting to see some of the things that you guys have been able to achieve, I guess, in such a short space of time. Obviously with consideration of the break that we had in the middle there, but I mean, what kind of results, what would you say are the kind of standout results that you guys have seen? Like, you don't have to get into specifics as far as dollar values and stuff, but what would you kind of say has been the results that you've seen?
Yeah, I guess So when we started with you, we actually happened to have, we just sold a house and we happened to have a fair bit of money there, but it was all earmarked for other stuff. And actually on the start of the journey with you, when we were getting to know the basics, we'd in that meantime spent pretty much all the money because we had to, like we'd earmarked. We'd already,
for
yeah,
things around the house, the new house.
pools and whatnot. So we'd done all that. And it was like, oh man, we actually, once we've done all the stuff we were going to do, we don't have extra money after that. And we had a heap of money there. So it was, all right, we've got to get serious. And we have to start nutting out how we're going to do this. Let's really focus on what Josh is teaching us, give it a shot. Nothing to lose. So everything to gain. So all that money that we earmarked, we actually use, a portion of what we were meant to have there for stuff we used to work with you kind of thing. And then, not an arm and a leg or anything, but every cent was taken care of already. So it was like, all right, well, we're just going to use some of this money and invest in it. And meanwhile, we've paid for all the things we're meant to pay for, and there's money there again. So, so, just, I think it's the little things that you talk to us about. It's like, well, why don't you just try and put this aside and then see how you go. And then because we're doing that, we're going, no, that's there for that reason. Oh, I guess I don't need to, buy a takeaway 3 times this week, let's cook, things like that. You think of, it makes you think, so it makes you hold on to money. I think that's the main thing. The main results is that we are able to hold on to money without feeling the need to spend it. Whereas before, I didn't feel like I needed to spend the money or anything like that. It was just like, there's always more money tomorrow, so I just spend it. But because there was more money tomorrow, but you just didn't know how much you're going to get tomorrow, or how, the beauty of running a business.
That's right. I was about to say, just to let everyone know too, that you run a pretty successful business as well, Tom. So
it could be if we held on to the money.
Well, I mean, we're on our way. That's the thing.
We're doing it. And I think for me, I was saying this to Kel before, that we've got our basic money that we've got there, right? And then I've always wanted to invest, and Kel's dad is an accountant. He's always on to me, oh, have you thought about investing? Oh, and I've always thought about it, and I'm sure he'd be willing to help me if I really wanted to, but it's a lot of effort because he's old school, and I'd have to physically help him, like give him money, and it would be a lot more physical. And so I think even the fact that just working with you and your mindset on the way you invest and the way you do things, that spoke to me too. Like, it's something that got me excited. So it's another element to it that's not even a part of your program, like per se. It's just like, you sound like you really want to do well with money. Let's make it happen. So, it's got the extra levels to work with, and it's really beneficial. So,
But also that came up as one of our goals, our financial goals that we worked with you through. With that coming, you were able to say, well, hey, this is what I'm doing. Does it interest you? And I think with investing, for me, it gets really confusing and it's hard to understand. And when you're handing over money and you don't understand the investment, it's really risky. And so the way that you explained it to us, and again, trusting you and seeing the returns and the way you lay it all out, you feel quite safe about it. For me, on a personal level, just being able to, have personal savings and having that fallback money. So for example, like when Tommy did get sick and things, and maybe if the business money was going to slow down, we would have personal savings there to help out. And things like that. Definitely thinking twice before spending. Like Tom said, if it was just takeaway, for me, it's definitely shopping. I love shopping. And just, it is for the kids too. And you tell yourself that they need these things, but sometimes they don't need those things.
Yeah.
We're just thinking twice, do we need these things? And I think, the way you helped us set up the account, just down to one account and then having our savings account. And once that money moves over to the savings, it just stays there unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, even you were a
And-
bit baffled with how many accounts we had.
It's not uncommon nowadays, so don't panic. But there was a lot, yeah.
I think I've loved this new system, and
Mm.
seeing money there, and it's made it easier to save because it was so confusing before, having to wait for this pay and wait for that pay, and this was working for that, and it was taking a lot of energy for me. I didn't realize at the time, but just the energy in my brain of having to keep track of everything.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's just all in one account, and I've set up direct debits, and I don't really have to worry about much, and there's always money in there. It's fantastic.
Which is great.
Stress out of things, which is
Yeah.
what we want in life. We don't want to be stressed out.
No, there's enough of that.
Not at all. Not at all. That's enough. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and obviously the other great ones that you've seen that we've spoken about before is this element of communication and organization as well. Like, and to see, I guess, the impact that's had for you guys is huge, really, which is why I enjoyed that. Even within the first few weeks, we took a bit of a detour to tackle it because it was such a needed thing for you guys. But obviously, it's been an incredible space. So.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we could safely say that we've, in the last 12 weeks or so, we've held on to, I don't know, at least 70% more money than what we would have beforehand.
Yeah.
Which is huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's even with traveling away to Sydney and, where else did we go recently?
Melbourne,
Melbourne.
twice.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot of trips away, and usually when we've had trips away, there's nothing left to put away. It has been. So obviously, it becomes more of a lifestyle change too, I think, once you do go through the program. You start thinking about it, subconsciously, unconsciously. Subconsciously. So it's just, I don't know, it's just a way of life now. Like every now and then I have to catch myself. Like today, I had a bit of Easter shopping. I was like, don't get distracted, stay on task. But usually I'm
Love it.
better.
Yeah.
I spent about $800 on tools today too. Didn't even they're kind of thing, but yeah.
Could have been a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've still got the personal savings away, so that's okay.
Yeah.
That is good. No, that's really wonderful. Awesome. And obviously it's been really fun working with you guys. But I guess if there's people out there kind of thinking about doing this or what would you kind of say?
I'd say don't put it off. The quicker you're dealing with your issues and your mindset challenges, the quicker you'll be on top. So for me, I started around it. I undernard for months about what I was going to do, and I need to do this, but it's another thing to do. I've got a hectic lifestyle as it is, and it was like, it's another thing to think about. And as you know full well, we have to be very flexible. Like, you have to be more flexible than anyone probably with us. But
That's all right.
But it's not something to put off. It's something to grab a hold of straight away. Otherwise, you're just delaying your outcome. So,
For me, it's the best decision you'll ever make. You won't regret it, and you'll get even more out of it than you want going in. So the amount of money that you spend for the program will be a fragment of what it will be worth at the end.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's wonderful. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've enjoyed the journey so far. Obviously, we're not done, so we're still going. But it's like it. Sorry.
How bad?
No, I'm giving you up.
That's good. All right, you too. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. I think thanks for jumping on, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah. Legend.
See you guys.
Thanks.